Welcome to another edition of Bogosity, where we use things like logic and reason, and a bit of well-deserved humorous abuse, to combat superstition, stupidity, and sloppy thinking. Today, we'll be talking about the Bible codes. I'll go ahead and give away the ending. They're complete Bogosity!
Bogosity.
For centuries, people have tried using the Bible to predict events. Anything from the changeover from one king to another to the end of the world. After several hundred years of these predictions failing miserably, it seems that they're now trying a different tactic, saying that the predictions are hidden, coded in the biblical text.
Yeah, right!
So what actually are they? Well, the idea is this. Take all the Hebrew text in the Bible, remove all spacing and punctuation, align it in a grid of whatever width, and see if another word appears in the pattern of characters. Here's Professor Stephen Miller of Rutgers University explaining it in an episode of the BBC series Horizon.
Skip codes involve a different way to read a text than we normally do. Usually we read one letter at a time, the first letter, the second letter, and the third letter, and so forth. But with a skip code, we might start with the third letter, and then skip ahead 10 to the 13th letter, and then to the 23rd letter, and so forth. And maybe that would spell out a new word, jumping 10 letters at a time.
One of these simple codes, particularly called Rips's imagination. It appears at the beginning of the Torah, the Jewish Bible, which is made up of the first 5 books of the Old Testament.
When we start with the first T in the book of Genesis, starting with the first T and taking every 50 letters, the word Torah appears.
Exactly the same pattern appeared in the second book of the Torah, Exodus. Again, starting with the first T and skipping 49 letters, the word Torah appears.
It was enough to me to be most intrigued, to think something very interesting might go on.
Really? It doesn't make me think anything of the kind. These books are pretty big, and Torah is only 4 letters long in Hebrew. Well, guess what? I got my hands on one of the top Bible code software programs and did a little searching of my own. And guess what? Right there in Genesis, the Hebrew word for bogus. And guess what else? Here it is again, and it's in several other places throughout the Torah as well. See? You're bound to find any 4-letter word you might look for in a text that long, especially if you can select how many letters you skip and change them from book to book.
Hanukkah is an important religious festival in Judaism, and the word Hanukkah is written as a skip code going backwards.
Wait, you get to find them backwards too? So you can choose the starting point in the text, and you get to choose how many letters to skip, and you can change that from word to word, and you can spell the word backwards if you want. Sounds to me like someone's trying to maximize their chances of finding whatever they need to.
I was looking for the names of world leaders. I typed in the name of the Israeli Prime Minister, Yitzhak Rabin. It was encoded once, and crossing his name in perfect Hebrew, it said, "Assassin will assassinate."
Okay, next revision. You get to choose the starting point. You get to choose how many letters to skip. You can change the skip length from word to word. You can spell it backwards. And one of the words doesn't even have to be skip coded. Gee, with all that, is there anything you couldn't find? Bogus! Also, predicting Rabin's assassination wasn't exactly difficult. And really, it wasn't a specific prediction at all. Just Rabin, an assassin. So is Rabin assassinated? Do his followers assassinate someone else? How many different events could be considered a hit here? Also, he didn't predict when this was going to happen, so as a prediction, it's actually pretty useless. Besides, we found someone who can easily do this with another book. Also, he's cool enough to have a TARDIS on his computer.
Lee Graham, graduate student in computer science and creator of the Origin Codes, Bible code-style word clusters found in the 6th edition of Darwin's Origin of Species.
Origin of Species, huh? Good luck convincing the Christians that's a book of prophecy. So Lee, what did you find?
When I search for this information in Darwin's Origin of Species, I find the following two clusters. The first contains the words Amir, assassin, Rabin, dead, mid, and east. And the other one contains the words Yigal, Amir, assassin, Rabin, Tel Aviv, middle, and east. But those are certainly not the only clusters that I could have found.
Okay, Lee, you keep looking. We'll get back to you later.
5 years ago, Michael Drosnin sealed 3 extraordinary predictions in an envelope and gave them to a top Manhattan lawyer for safekeeping. In 2003, he opened it.
The warnings that are most clearly stated in the code are: A, the world will face global economic collapse starting in the Hebrew year 5762, 2002 in the modern calendar. You know that one came true.
We do? Global economic collapse? When did this happen? We had a recession, but it really wasn't any worse than previous ones.
This will lead to a period of unprecedented danger as nations with nuclear weapons become unstable and terrorists can buy or steal the power to destroy whole cities. After 9/11, no one doubts it.
I do. I doubt it. In fact, now we know that the accusations that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction were, well, Bogosity. But of course, anyone with any sense knew that at the time. Maybe that was George W. Bush's mistake. Maybe he got his advice from Bible codes instead of intelligence experts.
I think there's a very good chance that President Bush will meet with me.
And then, of course, there's the most terrible of the 3 predictions. God help us if this one comes true. The danger will peak in the Hebrew year 5766, 2006 in the modern calendar, the year that is most clearly encoded with both World War and atomic holocaust.
Nope. It's 2007, and that didn't happen either. Drosnin's not doing too well, is he? So what about this complete failure of the Bible codes to predict these things?
He says the predictions need not come true.
Oh, well, how convenient.
They're a warning to the world to change its ways.
But we didn't change anything. There were no significant changes in the governments of the superpowers, major policies, or the world situation from 2003 to 2006. And did you notice? He missed predicting the 9/11 attacks. He predicts all of these other things and misses that? Of course, there were those all too willing to come in after the fact and say that the Bible codes predicted it after all.
You do in fact discover unusually compact arrangements of these 3 words, plus many others that have to do with 9/11, including 9/11 itself, including the names of the hijackers, including many other descriptors. The building's falling, the building's melting, it's being destroyed, it's before everybody's eyes, and so on. And all of these occur within a very small area.
I did a matrix on the World Trade Center attack, and it has 30 terms that are complete sentences. The statistical odds of this matrix occurring are 1 chance in 10 to the 340th power.
Wow, that sounds pretty impressive, doesn't it? All those terms appearing in all these different clusters close together. But if you think about it, it really isn't. Yes, they found a lot of terms, but look how varied they are. When you can include phrases like before everybody's eyes, you can come up with hundreds of different words and phrases that would be relevant. And what they don't tell you is how many different terms they went searching for that weren't there.